and welcome to Hymn Stories. Today's story is taken from Kenneth W. Osbeck's book, 101 More Hymn Stories. The text of today's hymn, My Faith Looks Up to Thee, was written by a 22-year-old school teacher who later became recognized as an outstanding evangelical minister in this country. The author, Ray Palmer, was born in 1808 in Rhode Island. His father was a judge in the community. Because of unexpected financial difficulties, young Ray was forced to discontinue school at the age of 13 and work as a clerk in a local store. He began attending church and accepted Christ as his Savior. It wasn't long after he felt the call of God to become a minister of the gospel. He was eventually able to return to school and later graduated from Yale University in 1830. After graduation, Ray taught at a girls' school where he experienced a battle of illness and loneliness. It was during this time that he wrote the words of the hymn, My Faith Looks Up to Thee. He recorded these thoughts. The words for these stanzas were born out of my own soul with very little effort. I recall that I wrote the verses with tender emotion. There was not the slightest thought of writing for another eye, least of all writing a hymn for Christian worship. Mr. Palmer copied his verses into a small notebook that he always carried with him, and he thought no more about the lines, except to read them occasionally for his own devotions. 2 years later, he was visiting in Boston when he chanced to meet on a busy street his friend Dr. Lowell Mason. Dr. Mason asked Palmer if he knew of any good text that could be used for a new hymnal that Mason was in the process of compiling. Hesitatingly, Palmer showed the noted musician his little notebook. This is Palmer's account of the meeting. The little book contained the poem, and he asked for a copy. We stepped into a store together, and a copy was made and given to him, which, without much notice, he put into his pocket. 2 or 3 days afterward, we met in the street. When scarcely waiting to salute me, he earnestly exclaimed, Mr. Palmer, you may live many years and do many good things, but I think you will be best known to posterity as the author of My Faith Looks Up to Thee.